RadioHost Studio. In the next 5 minutes, you will take a station from an empty library to on air, around the clock. Here is the order to do it in. This is your overview. Everything the station is doing right now, what just played, what is on air, what is queued next, and how far the clock has reached in the hour. The launch checklist on the right is the one to trust. It lists the checks that decide whether Auto DJ can run without surprises. Work through it, and the station will not surprise you at 3 in the morning. Start with the media library. Drag in up to 50 MP3 files at a time. Everything is tagged in place. Click a title, an artist, or a genre in the table, and edit it right there. Timed matters more than it looks. Mark your jingles, sweepers, and beds as jingles rather than tracks, because the clock pulls those from a different place. Your storage meter sits at the top. And watch the review flags. Studio checks every upload for silence at the head, clipping, and tracks you already have, so filter by needs review before you build anything on top of it. A playlist is a named group of tracks with rotation rules. Most stations need only a few: daytime, overnight, and one for a specialist show. You are not building a running order here. You are telling the station which pool to draw from when it asks for a song. Now the idea that makes the whole thing work, the clock wheel. It is an hour template. Not a list of songs, but a repeating pattern that says what kind of thing plays next. A playlist pool, a jingle, an exact track, a folder pool, an external stream, a talk break. The station repeats that hour and draws fresh material every time, so it never runs dry and never sounds like a loop. Here is a real one. The weather at the top of the hour, pinned to 00. The station identity chained straight after it. Then a song from daytime, a jingle from anywhere in the library, a voice track, 2 more songs, and a promo. Pin a slot to a minute, and the clock lands on it on time. Back timing fades the record down, so the news actually opens on the hour, instead of 2 minutes past. A show attaches a clock to a name, a description and artwork. The morning mix, the lunch break. This is what your listeners see and what your website publishes. It is also the unit the schedule places on the week. The weekly grid. Drop your shows where they belong, in your station's own time zone. The color tells you the kind: playlist, clock, live, relay, or rerun. Anything you do not cover falls through to Auto DJ, so there is never dead air. Even an empty grid still produces a radio station. Press validate before you walk away. It checks the week for overlaps, for shows pointing at a clock you have since emptied, and for the gaps that would land on the wrong hour after a clock change. Voice tracks are how you sound live when you are not. Record your link over the end of one song and the start of the next. Hear the crossfade while you record it, and cue it for tomorrow. The clock has a talk break slot that plays whatever is waiting, and if nothing is cued, it simply moves on to the next slot. Nobody hears a gap where your link would have been. When you do want to be live, the studio is in your browser. Your microphone, 2 decks, and 8 jingle carts, all playing from the same library. Nothing to install. Press go on air, and you take over from Auto DJ. Go off air, and it hands straight back. Up to 10 presenters can have their own login. If other people present on your station, add them under Live Studio DJs. They are invited by email and sign in with a code, so there is no password to pass around. They see only the shows you give them, and they can never touch your library, your playlists, or your schedule. 10 seats are included. Anyone who prefers BUTT or mixes goes under external DJs instead. Analytics is measured from the stream itself, not estimated. Live listener count, listening hours against your monthly allowance, sessions, unique listeners, and every spin. Peak tells you how close you are to your 500 listener ceiling. Finally, the website page. If you run Radio Site Maker, Copy the connection code from its dashboard and paste it here. Once your shows and their weekly times come across, your schedule stays in step, and your site's player points at this station. Library, playlist, clock, show, schedule. Work in that order and the station runs itself. Everything after that is refinement.